Welcome to The Explainer. All right, today we're pulling back the curtain on a really fascinating online business model, social media arbitrage. We're going to deconstruct the entire process, and we'll be using the platform Prmoted.com as our guide.
So, let's kick things off with the huge question, one that I'm sure is on a lot of your minds. In today's creator economy, is there really a direct path from getting likes and follows to earning actual, spendable cash? Well, the model we're digging into today claims the answer is a big yes.
All right, so to really get our heads around this, we're going to break it down into 4 simple parts. First up, the core concept itself. Then, we'll get into the nitty-gritty, the mechanics of how it works. After that, we'll check out some real-world case studies from the source. And finally, we'll unpack the so-called playbook for making it all happen.
Okay, first section. Let's get right into it. You know, what we're talking about here is really a classic business idea. Buy low, sell high. But with a totally modern social media twist.
So the whole thing, the entire system, it's all built on this one idea, SMM arbitrage. Think of it like this. You're the middleman. You're not like creating followers out of thin air. Nope. You're just finding a place that sells them cheap and then finding someone who'll pay you more for them. Simple as that. Okay, so that's the what. But what about the how? How does this actually work on the ground? Let's get into the mechanics and check out the step-by-step process the source material lays out for anyone wanting to do this.
It's basically this simple 4-step loop, right? Step 1, you find clients. You're advertising your services, maybe using some pre-made flyers on WhatsApp or Facebook. Then when someone bites, you check the base price on a site like Prmoted.com and you add your own profit on top. Step 3, they pay you, and you use their money to buy the service for them. And step 4, the best part, what's left over, that's all yours to keep.
And yeah, it's that profit margin where this whole thing gets really interesting. The math is just so simple, but it's powerful. I mean, look at this example from the source. You buy 1,000 Instagram followers for, say, 30 CDs. You turn around and sell them for 70. Boom, that's a 40 CD profit on one deal. And the best part? You're not holding any inventory. It's pure arbitrage.
Okay, that's the theory, but does this stuff actually work in the real world? Well, the source material gives us a couple of case studies to see exactly how people are putting this model into practice. So, first up, we've got this story about a reseller named Kwame and his client, a local youth pastor. Now, this pastor was doing these long prayer sessions online, but here's the problem, almost nobody was watching, and he felt like that really hurt his credibility.
So what was the fix? The pastor bought 100 live viewers from Kwame. And you gotta understand, this wasn't just about ego or vanity numbers. No, this was a strategic move. The goal was to create the look of a popular, happening ministry. He was basically betting that if people saw a crowd, more people would show up. You know, social proof.
And this chart right here just breaks down the money side of it perfectly. For that one client, Kwame's cost was 30 Cedis. The pastor paid him 60. That left Kwame with a 30 Cedi profit every single day for a service that probably took him, a few clicks to set up? Not bad at all.
And here's the kicker. According to the source, it wasn't just a one-and-done deal. The pastor was so happy with the results that he became a regular, daily customer. So that one sale turned into a steady, daily paycheck for Kwame.
But it's not just for pastors or influencers. This model works for e-commerce too. Let's look at another case study from the source. This one's about a woman named Madam Abena, who sells hair products on TikTok Live. And again, check out these numbers. The source says she was spending around 600 CDs a week on services to boost her viewer count. Make her streams look busy. And that investment? It apparently led to over 3,000 CDs in weekly profit from actual sales. So in her case, that fake engagement was actually driving real business. All right, so we've got the model, we've seen the case studies. Let's get into our final section, the reseller's playbook. What are the strategies, the mindset that the source material says you need to succeed at this?
So the playbook is really this mix of practical, nuts and bolts advice and, a certain mindset. First, they say, practice what you preach. Buy some followers for your own accounts to look legit. Then be consistent. Post those ads every single day on every platform you can. Don't just stick to your friends. Get out there in Facebook groups and local classifieds. And maybe the biggest piece of advice is psychological. Adopt an abundance mindset. Believe that if you can land one client, hey, you can land 1,000. And the conversation doesn't just stop in the present. The source material actually looks ahead to the future. The platform's new owner is basically saying that the next frontier, the new battleground for making money online, is all about AI and automation skills. That's where this whole thing is headed.
And that really brings us to the big question, doesn't it? When you boil it all down, the common thread here isn't just buying and selling numbers on a screen. It's about what those numbers mean to people. In this online world we live in, where attention is everything, this whole model is built on one simple, powerful idea that just looking credible can be as valuable and as profitable as actually being credible. And that, well, that's a fascinating and maybe even a little unsettling thought to leave you with.